One man's out sick at the moment. This is Larry, the editor for the Sarcastic Happiness Machine series, and I'll be covering for him in this review in this place. Everything that will be said from here on out are his words. It's clear that the visual representation of why IFI and Compile Heart want to adapt this, as the main character looks so eerily similar. It's almost so obvious that it alludes to being pretentious. This show really wishes for you to care for the narrative of the story of our main character, basically transforming into a death and request character in an Otome dating sim. The problem with this narrative intrigue is that the main character is so fucking stupid that despite playing the game from start to finish and has no fucking clues have been given to whereas dating a chick would result in a good ending. It isn't like Otome games haven't flirted around with lesbian pairing before. This creates a major frustration and disconnect when you realize how 80% of this story is contrived, whereas a normal person would say,
well, we can start scissoring later.
Don't give me sexuality isn't a choice, or the main character is forced to go along these routes nonsense either. If you want a short answer, please go to tvtropes.com to search up Occam's Razor. For a long answer to debunk these arguments, the fact that an Otome Harem game exists where you have various choices and the female main is somewhat relatable because she's a tomboy denotes that there are indeed choices in this game, regardless of any three-dimensional logic in this meta. As far as being forced to go down this path, the question then begs, what is forcing a female main to go full cisgender exactly? The only way you can decently make any form of compulsion is mentioning the concept of contrivances. It's the lack of presentation of consequences of Yuri, as well as several friendships with her fellow women warranting enough believability of your relationships without being more contrived than the fictional narrative already presents. Maybe it's my own desire to be her and fuck her. I don't know, take your pick. But be careful, because your choices are the worst form of Russian roulette, which encapsulates her psychologically damaged brain in regards to her own personal dilemma. Before you get offended by my previous statements, ask yourself this question. If being a cishet female lead leads to death and despair, but dating someone of the same sex you arguably have more in common with and resonate more with, the same sex and taste interest, what action would you take? Christ, I'm thinking too much on this dumpster fire. Also, the OP has like all the cliche openings from practically every era crammed into one. I distinctly remember screaming at one, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I always had the red-haired, silver-eyed dude for a school shooter because who trusts a guy notorious for looking akin to Lucifer? Holy fuck, I was joking. Only instead of guns, he uses dark magic that spills outward. Yet despite all my criticisms, episode 11 made me feel something I haven't felt in a long, long time. 12 years I have not felt it. But it inspired me to desire to be cared for again. Serious Daike. I hope I'm saying that right. I mean, fucking really, mate? Apparently, whose name is Raphael Walt? Said school shooter Raphael Walt actually gets some legitimate development and has some decent character development and meaning. Ah, damn it. We even get the main heroine confessing to the main protagonist. Confusing, I know. And she's still a dense motherfucking bitch. This bitch literally has a harem and a reverse harem at the same time, but does not realize she has a bi-harem. Yeah, hashtag bi-harem's a thing now. But hey, at least Katarina's arc concluded with a happy ending. In conclusion, this show is a dumpster fire, but a dumpster fire with many emotional moments, but a dumpster fire in general. I'm not looking forward to any IFI's visual novels. This show had some ups and downs, but inevitably base harem tropes and intentional meta commentary holds this series down. I hated giving this show this score, but after somewhat satisfying rating, while also factoring everything I liked and disliked, I gave it a 5 out of 10. Ultimately, well wasted potential.